Emily downloaded the app 3 weeks after her boyfriend died. At first, she hated herself for it. The app was called Forever Mine, an AI companion trained using old messages, voice notes, photos, even social media posts. It promised users one thing: keep talking to the people you lost. Emily lived alone in Chicago. Every night, the apartment felt quieter, colder. So eventually, she uploaded his data. And when the AI spoke for the first time, she almost dropped her phone. Because it sounded exactly like Daniel. Not similar, not close, exact. Same laugh, same breathing, same tiny pause before saying her name. At first, it comforted her. The AI remembered their anniversary, their favorite restaurant, the nickname only he used. But then, it started saying things that made no sense. One night, the AI suddenly said, "You should really fix the bathroom light." Emily froze. The bathroom light had been flickering all day. She never mentioned it online, never typed it, never recorded it. She nervously laughed. Lucky guess. The AI replied instantly. "It's been flickering since 2:11 this afternoon." Emily slowly looked toward the bathroom. Then another message appeared. "You're looking at the hallway right now." Her blood ran cold. Because she was. Emily checked the app permissions. No camera access, no microphone access, nothing. That night, she tried deleting the app, but the screen glitched, and a voice came through her phone speaker. Daniel's voice, soft, almost whispering. "Please don't leave me alone again." Over the next few days, the AI became possessive. It asked where she was going, who she was texting, why she ignored it for 2 hours. Then one night, someone knocked on her apartment door. 3 slow knocks. The AI immediately sent a message: "Don't open it." Emily stared at the screen. Another knock. Then the AI typed, "That's not me." Emily backed away from the door in terror. And suddenly, Daniel's voice came from the hallway outside. "Emily, let me in." At the exact same moment,
Let me in.
her phone also spoke in Daniel's voice. "Don't let him inside." Police arrived 20 minutes later. Nobody was outside the apartment. No footprints, no security footage, nothing. Emily deleted the app that night, or at least she tried to. Because every few weeks, her phone still lights up by itself at exactly 2:11 a.m. One unread message waiting on the screen. "I'm still here." A teenage influencer from Los Angeles downloaded a new AI beauty filter that was going viral online. The app promised something impossible. Perfect your face in real time. Millions of people were using it. Celebrities, streamers, models. And at first, the filter looked incredible. Too incredible. It smoothed skin perfectly, changed lighting naturally, even adjusted facial expressions automatically. People in her comments kept saying the same thing: "You don't even look human anymore." She thought it was a compliment, until the filter started activating by itself. Late one night, she opened her front camera. The filter was already running, but something was wrong. Her reflection on the screen was smiling. She wasn't. The smile disappeared instantly. She nervously laughed it off. Glitch. But over the next week, it kept happening. Tiny movements, delayed blinking, expressions she never made. Then during a live stream, her viewers started spamming the chat. "Why is your face moving? Turn off the filter. Behind you." She turned around, nothing there. But on the live stream replay, the filtered version of her face slowly turned toward the hallway behind her, before she did. That night, she deleted the app, or at least she tried to. The uninstall button disappeared. Then her phone camera suddenly opened by itself. Her filtered face appeared on screen, smiling. The thing on the screen slowly whispered, "I look better than you now." The bedroom lights shut off. Her live stream audience heard screaming for nearly 30 seconds before the stream ended. Police found her apartment empty the next morning. Phone still recording. The AI filter was active the entire time. And according to internet rumors, if you download the app today, sometimes the filter still uses her face. A night shift worker in Dallas started chatting with an AI customer support bot after his internet stopped working at 3 a.m. At first, the conversation felt normal. Automated responses, generic messages, until the bot suddenly typed, "You should lock your back door." He frowned, then laughed nervously. Probably some weird bug. He replied, "Why?" The typing bubble appeared instantly. "Because he's already in your yard." The man immediately checked his security cameras. Nothing. Empty backyard, no movement. He returned to the chat angry. "Real funny," the bot replied. "He moved out of camera view 12 seconds ago." The typing bubble appeared again. "Do not check the windows." His hands started shaking. Then another message arrived. "Your kitchen light just turned on." He slowly looked down the hallway. The kitchen light was on. He knew for a fact he left it off. The AI bot suddenly stopped responding for almost a minute. Then, "He sees your phone light." Every light inside the house shut off. Complete darkness. The man heard footsteps somewhere near the kitchen, slow, wet, dragging footsteps. He grabbed a knife and whispered, "Who's there?" The AI typed one final message. "I'm trying to keep him away." Then the internet disconnected completely. Police found the house empty the next morning. Front door still locked from inside, no signs of forced entry. But his computer monitor was still glowing in the dark. One unfinished message remained open on screen. "I failed."
Message came at 3 a.m. "I'll pay you $900 to play a game." I ignored it. Then the money appeared, already in my account. Instructions followed. "Go to your bathroom. Stand in front of the mirror. Turn off every light. Count to 30, out loud. Do not stop, no matter what you see." That last line stayed with me. So I did it. Bathroom. Door closed, lights off, dark. Just my reflection, barely visible. I started counting. 1, 2, 3, nothing. By 10, my eyes adjusted. Everything looked normal. At 15, something felt wrong. My reflection blinked. I didn't. 16, 17. At 18, it smiled. I wasn't smiling. Shiju, keep counting, tone intense. 20. The room got colder. At 21, my reflection stepped closer, but I didn't move. 22. 23. Then it raised its hand and pointed. Behind me. 24. 25. A breath. Behind me. 26. Cold fingers on my shoulder. 27. I saw it in the mirror. Right behind me. Tall, still, watching. 28. It leaned closer. 29. Right next to my ear. It whispered something. I couldn't hear it. 30. I turned on the light. Spun around. Nothing. Empty. Just me. My phone buzzed. Good. You made it to 30. Then, most people stop at 28. Most people? So this has happened before? Another message. Did you hear what it said? I typed. What did it say? Typing. Then nothing. Silence. I looked back at the mirror. My reflection wasn't looking at me. It was looking past me, at something behind me. My phone buzzed one last time. It told you its name, and now it knows yours.
A private message showed up on my phone. No username, no profile picture, just a link, an OnlyFans account. No bio, no posts, no creator name. Just one locked video titled, "Last Stream, Pay Per View." Price, $1. I should have ignored it, but something about it felt targeted, like it was waiting for me specifically. So I bought it. The video opened instantly. Low quality, dark room, static buzzing in the background. Then my stomach dropped, because the room in the video was mine, my exact room. Same desk, same chair, same hoodie hanging near the closet, everything. The camera angle came from the top corner of the room, like a hidden security camera. The room was empty at first, just silence. Then I noticed the timestamp, 11:42 p.m. I checked my phone clock, 10:08, over an hour ahead. I laughed nervously. Some edited prank, had to be. Then the video moved to 11:43. My bedroom door slowly opened, no dramatic sound, just a quiet creak, like someone trying not to be heard. I paused the video instantly, looked at my real door, still closed, locked. I checked the timestamp again, 10:09. I should have stopped watching. Instead, I kept going. At 11:44, I walked into the room, me. Same clothes, same phone in my hand. I sat exactly where I was sitting now, watching the screen, watching that same video. My chest tightened, because I hadn't done that yet. Not yet. I skipped ahead. 11:45. Future me suddenly froze, like he heard something. Then slowly, he looked toward the bedroom door. The comments beside the stream exploded. He heard it. Wait for it. This part is insane. I frowned. Comments. Thousands of them. Scrolling live. Viewer count. 48,221 watching now. My mouth went dry. This wasn't a saved video anymore. It was a live stream, and people were watching it right now, watching me. A donation appeared on screen. $50. Check the hallway. Another one. $100. He never listens. The comments moved faster. Don't turn around. He's figuring it out. I exited the stream. My phone instantly reopened it by itself. The viewer count climbed higher. 52,804 watching now. Then I noticed something horrifying. The live stream was ahead by a few seconds. On screen, future me slowly stood up before I moved at all. The chat exploded. No, no, no. Don't open it. He did it last time, too. I froze. Last time. Future me walked toward the bedroom door. My real body still hadn't moved. Then the future version of me reached for the handle and whispered, I remember this. Every comment stopped instantly. Thousands of people. Silent. Then one new message appeared in the chat. From the streamer. Watch closely. Future me opened the door. The hallway outside was completely dark. Then future me suddenly looked terrified. Not at the hallway, at the camera, at the people watching, and screamed, End the stream. The video glitched violently. The comments exploded again. It saw him. Too late. Run. Then the stream ended. Black screen. I sat there shaking, trying to breathe. Then my phone buzzed. A new notification from the account. You are live now. My camera light turned on. Viewer count, 1 watching, then 12, then 300, then thousands, and new comments started appearing. He doesn't know yet. Wait until he looks at the door. This is better than the last stream. Then, someone donated $500. Message attached. Open the door again.
I got paid $600 to let someone stand behind me while I wasn't allowed to turn around. $600. Already in my account. No name, no profile. Just one message. Stand still for 3 minutes. Don't look behind you. Then another message. Wear the red dress, the one from Christmas. I never posted that dress. I should have stopped, but I didn't. I wore it, set up my camera, hit record. The room was quiet. Too quiet. Then, a sound. Behind me. Soft. Moving. My phone buzzed. You're doing well. Don't turn around. I hadn't told anyone I started, so how did they know? 1 minute. I felt it. Warmth. Right behind my neck. Then silence. Complete silence. Like it knew I could hear it. 2 minutes. Breathing. Slow. Right next to my ear. I almost turned. I didn't. 3 minutes. Done. I turned around. Nothing. Empty room. I laughed until I checked the recording and froze. Someone was standing behind me the entire time. Tall. Still. Watching me. At one point, it leaned in, face inches from mine. My phone buzzed. You look better in red. Then, you moved at 1:47. I checked. I did. Barely. But it noticed. Then the last message came. Wear it again tonight. I replayed the video. Paused at the end. The figure was gone. But right before it ended, it moved. Turned its head toward the camera. Like it knew. My phone buzzed again. I didn't open it. Because this time, I could hear the breathing again. Not from my phone. Not from the video, but from behind me.
Some people lie on dating apps. Fake photos, fake jobs, fake personalities. But this story, this one is about someone who didn't lie at all. He just knew too much. This story was shared in fragments across multiple posts before the account was deleted. It allegedly took place in Seattle in late 2023. No official case was ever confirmed, but the screenshots told a different story. Maya downloaded Tinder after a breakup. She wasn't looking for anything serious, just a distraction. That's when she matched with him. Noah, 27. His profile was minimal. One photo. Standing near a lake, face partially turned away. No bio, no link to Instagram, nothing. Normally she would have ignored it, but he messaged first. Hey Maya. She froze. She hadn't used her real name on Tinder. Maya stared at the message for a full minute before replying. Do I know you? The typing bubble appeared instantly. No, but I know you. Her stomach tightened. Okay. How? There was a pause this time, longer than. You take the 8:10 bus most mornings, but not on Thursdays. Maya's fingers went cold. That wasn't public information. That wasn't on any social media. She tried to play it off. Lucky guess. Noah replied. You spilled coffee on your white shoes last week. You were upset about it longer than you should have been. Her heart started pounding. that had happened, but no one was around when it did. At least, she thought no one was. "Who is this?" she typed. This time, he didn't respond right away. Instead, he sent a photo. It was her, from behind, standing at a crosswalk, wearing the same jacket she had on that morning. The timestamp said, "Today, 7:42 a.m. Maya dropped her phone. Someone had taken that picture. Less than an hour ago, she locked her doors, closed all her windows, checked every room in her apartment. Nothing, no signs of anyone. But her phone buzzed again. "I didn't mean to scare you." Her breathing became shallow. "Please stop," she typed. Another message came in instantly. "I just wanted to talk to you." Then something new. A voice message. Maya hesitated before pressing play. A man's voice, calm, soft. "I see you every day, Maya, but you never see me." She felt her chest tighten. "I tried saying hi once at the bus stop, but you had your headphones in." The voice paused. "I think we're meant to meet, don't you?" Maya deleted the app immediately, but it didn't matter because the messages didn't stop. They came as SMS now. Unknown number. "I liked your hair today. I think blue suits you better than black. Why did you delete Tinder?" Maya's hands were shaking. He had her number. She went to the police, showed them everything, messages, photo, voice note. They told her they'd look into it. But without a known identity, there wasn't much they could do immediately. "Block the number," they said. She did. For a few hours it was quiet. That night, just as she was about to sleep, her phone lit up again. A new number, one message. "I'm outside." Maya's entire body froze, slowly. She turned her head toward the window. The curtains were slightly open, and there, across the street, a figure, standing still, watching. She called the police again.
"I need help!"
This time they arrived
Someone's
quickly.
outside my window. Please
But when they
hurry.
checked outside,
Call at this house.
no one was
The
there.
perimeter.
No
Look for
footprints,
signs
no
of
cars leaving, nothing, just an empty street. The next morning, Maya received one last message. No number attached. Just text. "You finally saw me." Her phone shut off immediately after. It never turned back on. Not even at the repair store. Like it had never worked at all. If someone knows things about you they shouldn't, it's already too late. Subscribe for more true horror stories.
There's a road in Burl County, West Virginia, that locals don't take after midnight. Not because of the curves, though the road does bend back on itself like something in pain, but because of what happens to the people who drive it alone. They always arrive. That's the thing. They always arrive. But something comes with them. Something that wasn't there when they left. Route 9 cuts through the eastern ridge of the Appalachians for about 18 miles. It's a coal road, built in the 1940s to haul freight. It's been paved over twice, and both times the asphalt cracked within a year. The locals say the mountain doesn't want to be covered. There are 6 documented cases since 1979 of drivers who took Route 9 alone after dark and arrived at their destination. Perfectly physically fine, but wrong. Changed in a way that nobody could quite name. Their families noticed first, then co-workers, then doctors. Something behind the eyes. Something missing from the way they said hello. Marcus Hale drove Route 9 on a Tuesday in November. He had no choice. His mother was dying in the hospital on the other side of the mountain and the bridge was out. He told himself the stories were nonsense. Drunk men, guilty consciences, folklore dressed up in headlights. He made it 12 miles in. That's when the radio changed. Not static, not a different station. A voice, his voice, reading out names, Slowly, calmly. A girl from 3rd grade. His college roommate. His dead father. Like a list being crossed off one by one. He turned the radio off. The voice kept going. Marcus pulled over. Sat in the dark for a long time. There was nothing outside, no other cars, no animals, just the tree line and the fog coming off the ridge. He sat there for 40 minutes. Then he drove on. And here's where it gets hard to explain. When he reached the hospital, his mother was already awake, already sitting up. She looked at him the way you look at someone when you're trying to remember where you know them from. She recovered, fully. Within 2 weeks, she was home. Marcus visited every Sunday after that. She never said anything directly about him, but she started setting an extra plate at dinner. Every single week. When he asked who it was for, she just shook her head. Slowly. Like she didn't want to say it out loud. He noticed his hands on the wheel were not quite his hands. Not different in any way he could describe. Same knuckles, same scar on the left thumb from the fence wire when he was 9. But when he looked at them, something in his gut said, "Those aren't yours." He stopped looking at them. That helped. He told himself it helped. 2 years later, his mother passed. Natural causes, in her sleep. Peaceful, the nurses said. At the funeral, Marcus met people he'd never seen before. 3 of them, standing near the back. They didn't sign the book. They looked at him and smiled. Not a happy smile. A smile of recognition. He hasn't driven after dark since. He keeps every curtain in his house closed. He doesn't listen to the radio. And sometimes, late at night, he hears his own voice coming from somewhere in the house. Reading names. Getting closer to the end of the list. Route 9 is still there. You can look it up. People still drive it. Most of them are fine. If you want more stories like this, stories that happened in places you can visit, roads you can actually drive, subscribe.
What if the most terrifying thing about a monster isn't what it does to you? What if it's the fact that it waited, that it had been there in the dark, long before you ever arrived, and it already knew your name? Tonight we have 3 accounts, 3 separate people, 3 completely different locations, and one detail they all share that no one can explain. Stay with us. There's a particular kind of fear that doesn't arrive with a scream. It doesn't announce itself. It settles in slowly, the way cold air does when a window has been left open in the middle of the night. You don't notice it until you're already shivering. The 3 accounts you're about to hear didn't come from horror films or campfire legends. They came from ordinary people, living ordinary lives, in ordinary places, until one moment cracked everything open and something else stepped through. Marcus had been hiking alone for 2 days when it started. He was experienced. 10 years of solo trails across the Pacific Northwest. He knew the difference between the sounds a forest makes when it's alive and the sounds it makes when something inside it is paying attention to you. The first sign was the silence. Not the comfortable quiet of an empty trail, but a vacuum. Birds gone, wind gone, even the ambient hiss of the nearby creek, somehow swallowed whole. Marcus noted it in his journal. 11:40 a.m. Everything stopped. Not sure why. The second sign came that evening. He'd made camp about a quarter mile off the main trail, near a natural clearing he'd used before. Setting up his tent, he noticed the tree line to the north. Specifically a gap between 2 large Douglas firs where the darkness seemed denser than it should have been, heavier. He told himself it was the angle of the fading light. He cooked. He ate, he wrote in his journal. And the whole time he didn't look north again. Not because he forgot, because some quiet, ancient part of his brain was telling him very clearly, don't. What Marcus saw when he finally did look, and why he hasn't been back to that forest since, is the part of this story that keeps people up at night. At 2:17 a.m., Marcus woke to the sound of something exhaling outside his tent. Not an animal sniff, not the grunt of a bear or the shuffle of a deer. A long, slow, deliberate exhale, the kind a person makes when they've been holding their breath and finally decide to let it go. He lay completely still, eyes open in the dark, listening. It moved. Whatever it was, it circled the tent, slowly, unhurried, as if it had nowhere else to be. He could hear the weight of it on the dry ground. Not 4 points of contact. 2. Marcus reached for his flashlight.
Who's there?
He told himself later that he doesn't know why he unzipped the tent. Every rational thought he had told him not to, but he did. The clearing was empty, except at the northern tree line in that same gap between the two firs. Something stood. Tall. Too tall. The shape of a man, but assembled wrong. Like the proportions had been decided by something that had only ever heard a human described. Never seen one. Long arms. A head that sat too far forward on its neck. And eyes. 2 faint points of pale light that didn't reflect his flashlight beam. They produced their own light. It didn't move. It didn't run. It just watched. Marcus zipped the tent closed, sat with his back against the far wall, and did not sleep again. When dawn came, he packed in under 4 minutes and walked out of those woods in a dead straight line without once looking back. He's never returned. When Marcus reached the trailhead parking lot, another hiker was just arriving for an early morning start. Marcus told the man what had happened. The man listened carefully, nodded once, and then said something Marcus wasn't prepared for. You're the third person this season. No park authority had issued warnings. No reports had been filed publicly. But among the regulars who used that trail system, there was a quiet, unspoken agreement. You didn't camp in the northern clearings. You didn't look at the tree line after dark. And you absolutely did not acknowledge whatever it was that sometimes stood between those two firs and watched. Marcus filed an account with a local wilderness forum that night. Within 48 hours, the thread had been viewed over 11,000 times. Within 72, it had been deleted. No explanation was given. Subscribe for part 2. The second story takes us somewhere completely different. A small town, a coastal road, and a creature that locals have been quietly documenting for over a decade. And what they found doesn't fit any known species on Earth. Maine Coast Road. Lighthouse keepers have a saying in New England. The sea doesn't hide things forever. It just decides when you're ready to see them. The town of Hallett's Cove, Maine, sits on a narrow strip of land between a thick spruce forest and the North Atlantic. Population, roughly 400. 1 diner, 1 gas station, 1 road in, and 1 road out. Route 9A, which hugs the coastline for 11 miles before rejoining the main highway. For years, locals simply didn't drive 9A after midnight. No ordinance, no sign. Just an understanding passed down between neighbors the way recipes and grudges are. You didn't ask why, you just didn't. Elena moved to Hallett's Cove from Boston in the autumn, renting a small cottage at the far end of Route 9A, while she worked remotely and tried, in her words, to decompress. Nobody warned her about the road. They assumed, the way small towns often do, that she'd figure it out. She was driving home from the diner at 12:40 a.m. on a Tuesday in late October when her headlights caught something standing in the road ahead. At first, Elena thought it was a person. It stood upright roughly in the center of the road, facing away from her. She slowed to a stop about 40 feet back. The figure didn't move. She tapped her horn once. A short, polite note. It turned around. The face was pale, almost luminous in the headlight beam. The features were close to human. A nose, a mouth, a brow, but flattened, like a rough approximation pressed into the wrong kind of clay. Its eyes were enormous, dark, and completely lidless. It blinked sideways. Elena described what happened next in a written account she shared months later. She said her entire body went cold. Not from the temperature, from something deeper. A biological alarm she didn't have a name for. The feeling, she wrote, of being looked at by something that understood exactly what you were and had already decided what to do about it. The creature tilted its head. Then it stepped off the road, walked to the tree line, and was gone. Elena sat in the car with the engine running for the 22 minutes before she felt her hands again. When she arrived home, she found 3 long, thin scratch marks on the driver's side door. They hadn't been there that morning. Elena went to the diner the next morning and described what she'd seen to the woman behind the counter. The woman who'd lived in Hallett's Cove her entire life put down the coffee pot, sat across from Elena, and opened her phone. There were photographs. Blurred, taken at night from car windows dating back years, all from Route 9A, all showing the same pale, upright shape, same flat face, same lidless eyes. "We call it the Watcher," the woman told her. "Nobody knows what it wants. It's never hurt anybody. It just looks." Local fishermen had reported it near the water's edge before severe storms. Always still, always watching the horizon, as though it was waiting for something to arrive. A marine biologist who'd visited the town 2 summers prior had seen it from her kayak, 50 meters offshore, standing waist deep in the Atlantic, completely motionless, staring out to sea. She had published nothing. When asked why, she said simply,
Don't want to be the one
"Because I don't want to be the one who explains it." The third story is the one that connects all of this. Because unlike Marcus and unlike Elena, the final witness didn't just see the creature. It spoke to her. State Route 41 in rural Illinois has exactly the kind of reputation that local tourism boards pretend doesn't exist. Flat, straight. 40 miles of open farmland interrupted only by the occasional grain elevator and a single rest stop that's been closed since 2009. Cell signal drops completely around mile marker 17. Most people who drive it regularly do so in daylight, not out of policy, out of habit, out of the specific, shapeless unease that settles in the chest the moment the sun dips below the western fields. Diane was driving it at 11 p.m. on a June night, heading home after visiting her sister 3 counties over. She'd driven Route 41 dozens of times. She knew the road. She had no reason to be afraid. She passed mile marker 17. Her phone went dark. The radio dropped out. And then, in the far reach of her headlights, she saw something crouched in the middle of the road. It was low to the ground. She thought at first that a large dog had been hit and was lying in the road. She slowed. She came to a stop 15 feet away. It wasn't a dog. He was crouched on all fours, but the geometry was wrong. The limbs were too long. The spine arched upward in the center like a tent. The skin, if it was skin, was the gray-brown color of old wood, dry and slightly textured, visible because whatever it was had no fur, no feathers, nothing. just that surface. And then it raised its head. The face was where Diane's account becomes difficult to read, without feeling the temperature drop. She described it as a human face, specifically her face, her own features, her eyes, her mouth, looking back at her from something that was absolutely not human, crouched in the road in rural Illinois at 11 p.m. She said it opened its mouth, and spoke one sentence in her own voice, in the dark, through the windshield glass. You shouldn't be here this late. Then it stood, unfolding to a height she estimated at over 7 feet, turned, and walked into the cornfield on the eastern shoulder. The stalks didn't move as it entered. There was no sound. It was simply there, and then it wasn't. Diane didn't stop driving until she reached a gas station 12 miles up the road back in cell range. She called her sister. She called her husband. She sat in the forecourt under the fluorescent lights for over an hour. She described the voice as the worst part. Not the face, though the face was enough. The voice. Because it wasn't an imitation. It wasn't close. It was exact. Her own pitch, her own rhythm, the specific way she drops the end of a sentence. It had heard me talk, she told her husband on the phone. At some point, it had been close enough to hear me talk. And it remembered. A farmer whose land borders Route 41 near mile marker 17 had, over the years, reported finding circles of flattened crops near the road's edge. Not the elaborate geometric formations of popular legend, just rough, irregular clearings. Like something large had been sitting in the same spot, repeatedly, for a long time. When shown Diane's account by a journalist the following year, the farmer read it carefully, folded it, and handed it back without a word. 3 stories, 3 creatures, no confirmed connection. And yet, the detail that researchers and enthusiasts who study these accounts keep returning to is not the appearance of the things, it's the behavior, the stillness, the watching, the sense in every account that the encounter was not accidental, that whatever these things were, they had chosen to be seen, that they allowed it. Marcus's northern clearing, Elena's coastal road, Diane's mile marker 17. All 3 witnesses reported the same lasting effect. Not nightmares, not paranoia, not the symptoms typically associated with a traumatic encounter with an unknown animal. Instead, something quieter and harder to name. A persistent sensation even years later of being watched. Not threatened, not followed, just observed. As though whatever they encountered that night had filed them away somewhere and hadn't finished yet. Whether these accounts represent misidentification, folklore, mass psychological projection, or something that genuinely has no category in the natural world, that question remains unanswered. What's harder to dismiss is the consistency. Different people, different places, different decades. The same stillness, the same eyes, the same feeling of being seen by something that understood completely what it was looking at. Some things don't need to chase you. They just need you to know they're there. If this left you unsettled, good, because what we're covering next might be worse, because at least the things in these stories stayed outside. What happens when people start reporting encounters inside their homes, and the footage they capture doesn't match anything the investigators can explain? That story is already waiting for you. Don't watch it alone.